Hello, welcome, thank you for coming. I've spent quite an amount of time reflecting on how I was going to detail 50 years of my life at M+S in such a short speech. But over the next 10 minutes, I'm going to share with you some of the insights into my life at M+S. I was born to be a farmer, and in 1960, my parents moved from Canberra to a farm 3 kilometres north of Kyabram. Mum and Dad, Joe and Murray, operated a dairy farm and they ran a herd of stud Friesians. They were very successful at that. They had the champion cow at the 1964 Melbourne show. I left school after year 12 and there was a glut of butter and cheese on the world markets, and they were destroying dairy cows and putting them in pits. My father said that there's no future in being a farmer, so I took off and spent the next year as a hay carter, fruit picker, jackaroo, and if it hadn't been that fate intervened in my journey, I would have ended up being a shearer. But in February 1976, whilst working down at Moyston as a jackaroo, Dad went in to get his tax done, and David Thomas at that time, who was the manager of Kyabram Taxation and Secretarial Services that we know, was looking for a trainee accountant, and Dad, knowing that I'd completed accounting and economics in year 12, organised an interview, and on the 31st of May 1976, on my 20th birthday, I started with Kyabram Taxation and Secretarial Services, which at that time had a staff of 6 people. Accounting, well, had a reputation for being boring, and it was. In those early years, there were no such things as adding machines. Everything was added up in your head. And when adding machines came on the scene, they were just a huge innovation, invention, but still everything was done by hand. Some years down the track, some years down the track before I even had access to a telephone, because everything was done by letters and staff weren't allowed to contact clients. It was only the accountants. How times have changed, and much for the better. The major influences on my life were, of course, my parents, Joe and Murray, who passed on to all us boys a strong work ethic and the importance of trust and honesty. David Thomas guided me through my early years as an accountant, and he believed that accountants shouldn't just be preparing income tax returns, but proactively advising clients in relation to other things like risk management and investing. He encouraged us all to get out of the office to see our clients at their businesses and farms, and this created a huge rapport with our clients and resulted in a high degree of client satisfaction and significant growth in the business. Plus, as an accountant, it of course took you out of the office and out to see what your clients were really doing. David was a qualified accountant and encouraged me to undertake my studies, and I completed a Bachelor of Business course in Bendigo in 1989, which involved 2 trips a week for 6 years to Bendigo. Following that, I completed my CPA, and that was finalised in 1993. In 1993, the law in relation to who could be a owner of an accounting practice changed, and prior to then, the accounting practice was owned by the legal partners. But in 1993, the change meant that if you wanted to trade as a CPA practice, then 75% of the partners had to be CPA qualified. From the fact that the business grew out of a legal practice, the culture of the business was very much reflected by that of the legal fraternity, which in those days was dominated by males, and the only jobs that were available to females at that time were either tea ladies, receptionists or typists. Before David and I took control of the business, there was an unwritten law that the males in the organisation on a Friday night had to appear at the Gentlemen's Club in Kyabram. The culture of that business, that if you didn't appear at the men's club on Friday night, you wouldn't have a job on Monday. Nobody ever tested this. When David and I took control of the accounting practice, we changed the business culture, much for the better. In essence, we had female accountants, we employed female accountants, and we also expanded the business into the areas of financial planning and superannuation advice. The expansion continued, and we continued to gain more staff members until David's retirement in 2000. David had seen the business start in 1966 with a turnover of $16,000. When he retired in the year 2000, the turnover was $3.5 million, and today the business turns over in excess of $7 million. So, apart from computers, the most significant changes we've seen in the modern workplace is that employment now is no longer gender-based. Where you're going to end up in the organisation will be determined by your ability, your work ethic and qualifications. The beginning of COVID in 2020 changed the world, but there's been some very significant changes that have been very positive for all of our staff, who are mainly female. And of course, the ability to work from home is now a reality across nearly every industry that provides professional services. And since COVID, we've seen the introduction of flexible working arrangements. They've just got a much better work-life balance as a result of that. When I look back on my career, it's really been about people. I've been lucky enough to work with some fantastic people. I've had a number of high-quality team members, and because of their commitment and our ability to assist clients, that's created a real rapport with our clients, and their financial success and comfort with our services has meant that my career has been a very interesting journey, and one that's been extremely satisfying. Just on an aside, it's been a common theme that if you're a client of myself and our team, you'd achieve millionaire status over your business life. And I'm talking about when a million was a million. So in this day and age, of course, a number of our clients have certainly achieved their financial goals. Over the years, I've had many great relationships with clients, team members, and other professionals. These are mainly people that are, of course, involved in the legal fraternity, banking, finance and financial plannings. I owe a particular degree of gratitude to the people that are going to remain and be the future of the M+S Group. Michael Connick and 5 associates who will replace me on the 30th of June are a fantastic group of people, and I believe under their control and guidance the business will just continue to grow and support the sort of culture and client service levels that will continue to propel the business forward and help our clients achieve the financial outcomes and futures that they're seeking advice on. They've got an overall strategy that involves the values of the business, its team members, and a culture that will see M+S be an employer of first choice. Whilst tonight revolves around my professional career, that's only been part of my life. Of course, I've shared my life with my wife and family, and we've had many great times. We've got 6 children between us and 8 grandchildren who we love and adore and cherish. Over the years, we've had many great times together and individually, on holidaying both within Australia and overseas. Retirement, what does it mean? Well, it's just another part of life's journey, and I'm sure there'll be many great times ahead for myself and Lynn. And whilst it's uncharted territory for me, and Lynn for that matter, changing from going to work 5 days a week for that is going to be a challenge, but I'm sure together we'll make the best of that. Just before closing, special thank you to Liz Connick for organising everything to do with this occasion. And with that, I thank you all for coming and wish you long, happy and healthy lives. There you go.